To this now, the DA has laid criminal charges against the Minister of Higher Education and Training, Dr. Nobuhle Nkabane, ahead of her tabling of her department's budget in the National Assembly. National Council of Provinces, I beg your pardon. Now, the party says it took this step because President Cyril Ramaphosa continues to take no action against ANC corruption in the executive. DA Federal Council Chairperson Helen Zille led the laying of fraud and misleading of Parliament charges. Zille says President Ramaphosa's government is condoning these actions, and this shows that the ANC is not interested in eradicating corruption.
We're here today for the simple reason that President Ramaphosa refuses to be as good as his word and act against corruption. Act against criminality in our parliament. Those kinds of actions go unchecked, whereas what President Ramaphosa perceives as a slight, which is a deputy minister not asking him permission to go on a private trip that he didn't have to ask permission for, that is punished in the most severe terms. But serious fraud and the misleading of Parliament is somehow condoned by President Ramaphosa's government. That is an enormous double standard, and that shows you that the ANC isn't at all interested in combating corruption. This matter concerns Minister Nkabanes, the Minister of Higher Education. She announced certain appointments to the SETA boards, the Sector Education and Training Authorities, which are crucially important in the higher education sector of South Africa. Our colleague Karabo Khachau then went and did an entire table of everybody who was appointed and discovered, lo and behold, that there were a whole lot of deployed ANC cadres. So the next question, obviously, was to ask how were they selected? And the minister said it was by an independent board of experts. Now, when we dug a little bit further and found out who these experts were, 3 out of the 6 were employees of the minister in her own department, and several others were deployed ANC cadres from various positions, and I have them listed here. So far from being independent people who had come in as experts to make the appointments, we had the minister's chief of staff, we had a chief director for the SETAs accountable to the minister, and we had the director of corporate services who's very close to the minister.